There was Tamarisk, a five-piece band from Romford in Essex, and three members of the band have joined me tonight, and very pleased to see them. We have three members anyway: Andy Grant, Pete Monday, and Steve Lee. Welcome to Kent and Kent Rocks.
Thanks very much.
And making the journey through the Dartford Tunnel tonight, which I hope was clear.
Yeah,
it was all right.
Not too bad at
all.
all.
Not too bad at all. Right, you just told me, actually, just before we came on, that the band Tamarisk has been going for just 1 year today.
That's right, one year today.
Most
Happy
bands
birthday, Tamarisk.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Most bands that I speak to, they don't remember too well how it all started. So can you remember a year ago today what was actually happening to you?
Well, we was stuck in the garage in Rainham. Our drummer had come down. Up until this time we didn't have one. So we thought it was about time. I've got a friend of mine called Richard, who can't be here unfortunately. Hello Richard. So pop on down. Ascension we were writing at that very moment actually. That was the first song we wrote. And it really went from there.
Right, so you can even remember the first song that you wrote together, which is
probably go through the lot.
Unforgettable.
Unforgettable. Well, I'm pleased to say you ventured into a studio fairly early on. Was that done soon after you'd met up and rehearsed a bit?
Yeah, it was done about 4 or 5 months after, in November, beginning of November. We decided we needed some material because the demand for the band was quite phenomenal, in respect to how long we'd been going. And so therefore we decided we had to go in and get some recorded material.
You say the demand, was that the demand to be seen to play live, or...?
Well, the demand for recording material rather than to be seen to be played live, which was quite good.
Yeah, we were all a bit amazed
nice.
the way that things started going so quickly. And within 8 months we were doing the marquee, and the tape was available and selling very well all over the place, from Europe, in England. Very good response.
I mean, how was it happening so quickly?
I really don't answer that.
I mean, obviously you can say, it's...
It was, at the time, the music business needed a new gimmick, musically, and they picked on what's known as the new wave of progressive rock. The only thing that could follow the new wave of heavy metal. And we were there at the time, and they launched loads of bands, and we were just one of them. Since then, it's the music press didn't really take it to heart, but the bands are still going, and the popularity for the music and the bands is still growing every day.
Would you say that the sort of the leading band in your field is Marillion?
Well, they were the first to the post.
Yeah, I'd say that they're probably the...
Yeah, they probably are. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because, I mean, everything goes in phases, and it certainly seems to have, about time it came round again, but all these bands have been going for a long time, and I'm sure it's just waiting for their turn, as it were. Now, we've timed this rather well in that you've recorded some new material recently. What actually happened in the intervening time? I mean, with the first tape, you obviously managed to get through some copies, and then, when did you decide to record some new songs?
It really turned out that Druids, the studio we recorded, offered us a very good deal because they were going over to 24-track. So we took it. We felt we were ready. We added a lot of new songs together. So we took the money and ran, really. It's cheap studio time. Yeah,
also, we'd found out we had progressed since a year ago. So it was about time that we did put down some new material.
We really felt that the tape was becoming a bit dated and wasn't really showing how we were moving on.
Do you think you're in danger of becoming too studio-based and not actually getting out to play live too much?
We could do with more gigs, without a doubt. But there's nowadays there's lots of different mediums. You've got the live work. The studio work to us is something totally different to live. When we play live, we don't go out to put the tape exactly as it is, play the songs exactly as they would be recorded. It's a whole new world, really. Or with video coming along as well.
It's purely improvisation on the whole of the band's behalf, and that's why we tend to go down so well, is because we have got it together.
When you say improvisation, does that mean, say, you don't often... do you play in it improvised as well, to some extent?
Normally, not live.
Not on a... If you take, for example, a jazz side of it, no, that's a totally different ball game. But in the sense that when we're playing live, there's more emotion, more feeling, and therefore, a lot of different attitudes come across as opposed to studio.
Yeah, when we're playing live, we always make sure that the solos or whatever aren't too held down to a strict format, because then everybody can bring out their feelings at the time. As soon as we get in the studio, we'll then work it out, or before we're going in, we'll then work it out and say, yeah, this is what will sound best on tape or on record. But live, we'd always like to think all the channels are open. A lot of the lyrics for the tapes are made up on the mic. The ideas are there. I will personally just take what sounds best to me and put it down at the last possible minute. Therefore, keeping all my channels open, really.
Right, we're going to hear one of those new tracks now, and as I gathered, you've only just recorded these or mixed these very recently, in fact.
Yeah, about a week ago.
So very fresh in your minds.
Yeah, it's a Radio Kent exclusive.
It is indeed.
That's not bad, really, is it? Well, a Kent Rocks exclusive, which is even better. Now, can we talk about the song?
Yeah.
It is, certainly.
Mojo, interesting title, anyway.
Yeah. I wanted it to be a tribute to Jim Morrison, I'm a big fan of, but when I started to write the lyrics, it seemed a bit pretentious. For some reason, I couldn't get it right. So the full title is, in fact, Mojo, Death of an American Prayer. So I dropped the Jim Morrison idea and had a bit of a dig at certain politicians. It's pretty political, but we won't go into it too much, as this is the BBC.
I'm grateful to you for that.
Yeah, it's not too over the top, but there's a few political statements there.
All right.
But, nothing too nasty. It's all in good taste, I feel.
I'm sure it won't offend anyone.
I hope
Anyway,
not.
this is Tamarisk and the second track and a world exclusive. Not only a Kent Rocks exclusive, and this is called Mojo. That's the excellent Tamarisk from Romford in Essex, who are joining me tonight on the programme. You're tuned to your local radio station, BBC Radio Kent. And urgent traffic news now from the Kent Police, and to talk to us there is Inspector Russ Dorling. Hello.
Yeah, good evening. I'm sorry to interrupt your programme and your nice music.
Back to my guests tonight, who are Tamarisk, a five-piece band from Romford in Essex, and sorry about that. We're prone to all sorts of interruptions during Kent Rocks from now on. It must be an interesting thought for you to be heard sort of by a driver, perhaps passing through the county just on this one day, taking the name Tamarisk with them, wherever they may have come from.
Sounds good.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, that was Mojo. I got it in the end. And quite a long track. It seems that most bands that play the type of music you do don't go in for the sort of the 2.5 minute bash, do they? It tends to be the 5.5, 6 minute epic. Is this deliberate, or is it?
It's probably due to the feelings and the things they're trying to put into the song. What they're trying to put across can't be done in 2.5 minutes. Really, it's more of it just can't be done, really, can it? And be given credit or be done justice to the song.
I think people seem to want to be able to express themselves more in music. I'm sure we're going to find that tracks will be getting longer and longer on albums. A lot of our songs could be compressed into a couple of minutes for the radio, for the charts. But
so you are aware of a need for perhaps a shorter,
definitely,
shorter version.
Definitely.
Yes, when it comes to it. But on this programme, we like to play things in full anyway, and it certainly doesn't worry me at all. But I certainly enjoyed that track, and there's another one coming up shortly. Now, at the moment, I see you're without a manager, and all these things that you've been talking about. You're going to have to do everything on your own now.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're back to that again. We've just lost our previous manager due to certain difficulties. Won't say too much about that.
No.
So, if anybody's interested out there in Kent or wherever, we're available.
What would you expect from a manager? I mean, what would
everything?
What would the person have to do?
Total commitment.
Yeah, they'd have to like the band. Also, they'd have to be willing to help us to get work, to get gigs. Is what every band needs exposure, and live is about the best you can get.
How could you be contacted by someone?
We gave the address is over there actually on your little piece of paper. Would you like me to read it out for you?
Well, if you can remember it, because I...
Yeah. If anybody's got a pen and they'd like to write to us or have a tape of us or anything, they can get it from 3B, Hackton House, Hackton Lane, Upminster in Essex.
Near Hackton.
Yeah. That's Hacton.
Right. Okay. And what about, is that the same for gigs or anything like that? If anyone's
Yeah,
been
if anybody wants
anything.
to, anything at all, they can get tapes from there. They can write and tell us how good we are or how bad we are.
They can have just casual conversation.
Yeah,
Into
anybody
anything.
at all would like to phone us, write to us. Sorry, phone us. Then that's the address. We'll be
I'm
there.
Sure, yeah, I'm sure people who want to ultimately get hold of some of your new material, is it going to be made available on cassette?
Early August will be when we'll have it ready. It's just the cover artwork to do now.
Yeah.
So you
We'll have
believe
a
in
few problems with
packaging the
Well-
product as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how will you distribute it?
Just by post, really.
And buying at the
And
gigs. We have
Oh,
a
yeah.
publicity agent, good old Keith, over there in London somewhere.
Hello, Keith.
God knows what he's doing. And it'll be in the music press when it comes out.
Okay, I hope very much you get to play more in the county of Kent.
Oh, we'll be coming back soon. Don't you fear.
Have no fear. And we'll certainly try and put you in touch with some of the venues around here. Obviously, there's competition. Do you meet many bands in your
Yeah.
on your travels?
All over the
Yeah.
All the
place.
time, yeah.
All struggling.
But it doesn't deter you at all.
No, never.
Oh, no.
And we know the truth.
Yeah.
Well, that's
There's
right.
only one truth and one ambition.
And one Tamarisk.
And as it says in this next title, there's not too much room at the top.
There might be room for us, hopefully. We'll see
Anyway,
how it goes.
We're trying to make room.
Well, I wish you every success, and
Thanks very
I think
much.
it's
Thank
it's long overdue, and I wish you well. In the meantime, we haven't actually mentioned the other two members of the band who aren't with us tonight. Perhaps you could just say who they are and perhaps what they play and what you play.
Well, I'm Andy, and I'm the singer. Sounds like the Floaters, doesn't
It
it?
does, doesn't it?
Blimey.
Yeah. I'm Capricorn as well, if you're worried about it. Yeah, Mark and Richard, the two aren't here. That's the drummer and the bass player. Hello to them. They've got other commitments. They're out celebrating our first birthday.
Well,
Over to you, Stephen.
Yeah, well, actually, I play the keyboards.
Writes the
and-
songs. Very clever
Well,
man.
yeah. Write a few of the songs with a little help
From his friends.
from friends, yeah. And the man on my right is sitting there, hasn't said a lot all night.
Oh, I don't know.
It's the guitarist who doesn't have to say anything.
His playing speaks for himself.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we usually do all that at the beginning, but just to be different tonight, we've slotted that part of the interview in at the end, so people will remember who you are. Tamarisk is the name, and the name must mean something. It's not a word I've heard before.
Well, no, it just sounds nice.
It is, in fact, it's a small plant, a flower.
An evergreen.
Yeah.
An evergreen
Quite
shrub.
a pretty little thing.
Where would you find one?
All over the world.
Yeah, they're all
All
over
along the
place,
coast as well.
Yeah, the coast is quite popular. Gardeners will probably know what we're talking about.
All right.
If there is any gardeners out there, bound to be.
In the Garden of England,
Yeah.
they're bound to be.
You're bound to find a tamarisk.
Anyway, Tamarisk, thanks very much indeed. We're going to finish
you.
with this track, which is appropriately titled No Room at the Top. Thanks very much.
Thank
Okay.
you.
3 tracks from Tamarisk, each lasting around 7 minutes. One of which will be coming up quite soon. Right. I told you as a guest band tonight, it's Tamarisk. Start off with their first track. It's called Breaking the Chains. Lasts you around 7 minutes, but it'll take us up to the news. That's Tamarisk, a local band based down there in Romford, and that's a track called Breaking the Chains. 7 minutes and odd seconds. Unfortunately, I have time for about 5.5 of that. Right, let's have another track from the band's called Tamarisk, a local band based out of the Romford area, and that's Ascension. And very good musically. Quite impressed with that little lot. Ascension. And I played another track earlier from them, which name I've forgotten. It's over there. Hang on. What's it called? Breaking the Chains, that's right. And I shall play another track from them, hopefully between now and 9 o'clock, if I can fit it in. If not, the tape's got to go back tomorrow, so I won't be able to. I'll try and play you one another time, alright? And now, got about 4 minutes to play with, so I'm going to play you 4 minutes of Christmas Carol, the final track from Tamarisk for tonight. Thanks to the Stick Insect who writes to me saying, you must go and see the new film Dark Crystal. It's absolutely incredible, amazing, literally out of this world. And waffles on. We've had 3 tracks, or at least most of 3 tracks, from a band called Tamarisk. Breaking the Chains was the first one, following that Ascension, and now one there called Christmas Carol. A good band, much appreciated them. Thank you guys for sending me that tape, much appreciated. and to young Andy from Romford.
It's 11 o'clock. That was Little Stephen and the Disciples of Soul, a new single on the EMI America label called Lion in a Bed of Fire. And before that, something from a cassette album, which is out on the LTC cassette label. The track was called Ascension by a band called Tamarisk. And if you'd like to know where you can get the cassette, I'll tell you, because Tamarisk actually phoned up today and gave me their address. So here it goes. And I'll give it to you again later as well. It's number 20, Gartmore Road, Goodmays, Ilford in Essex. Okay, the address of Tamarisk is number 20, Gartmore Road, Goodmays, Ilford, the noble county of Essex.